帶咗佢啦！救命！你記得幫我影相喎？好，我會㗎。睇住你英姿。我就會幫你影多幾張。好啊，多謝。點晒？
咁到時間佢講嘢嘅時候 ，Mandy 就影相，我就喺度
好。
因為真係我哋通常有暗鬥仔去收人啲卡片。
好。佢哋係咪都係報我哋個比賽嗰啲人嚟㗎？哦。哇 ，bank 都有 MA， 哇，勁喎！Antony 講先。
啲人1個鐘嘅啫。
啲人 around 5個字4個字到20分鐘。係啊，我哋2個鐘 event 啫嘛。Andy，我想問多少少最後一樣嘢，就係呢個咧，我已經拆咗啦，跟住咧，但係嗰個藍牙嗰度，即係佢感應唔到呢嚿嘢，我要點搞？我已經開咗，跟住又拆咗嘅。我有冇講翻我包？
應該係呢個連咗先嘅，我撳咗敲分，但係冇反應咁樣開始。冇乜事，冇咗食咗。因為你撈得有啲耐。點解你覺得？因為你一開始你撳完人打埋，即係你撳咗其他嘢嘅話咧，你個方法咧，
你好，請問你係iPad，好啊。
即係你上一次撳咗你買。
可以入。
但係你要諗翻佢個 iPad power 嘅時候嘛。係啊。可以當然啦，我整咗 adapter 俾你，跟住大家就會掹咗呢個，跟住就整你嗰個電腦就 OK。
即係仲有一個。
你有冇？定係你會唔會要將個 PowerPoint 俾我哋？因為我哋同時間 Zoom。因為佢
有啲嘢再講㗎。
係咯，唔一樣。你有冇入我哋嘅 WiFi？可以。
可以開始打電話問啲人都
打電話問佢哋到邊？
係啊，
咁長？
你唔想冇人嚟算啦。你唔好以為
係㗎，
你唔好以為報名
我未試過
人好多，你永遠係要打翻個字嘅報嘅人。
我之前去你哋呢啲活動咧，跟住阿 King 咧係唔打俾我咯，佢打2、3次電話㗎，因為佢係咪會嚟㗎？
係啊，因為你唔搶唔得㗎。
好長啊！你哋已經搞到我覺得好似唔嚟又唔係幾好咁，我就嚟。
我同你講，通常你要咁多人報，你係要有啲時有一半人都
係啊，
呢個可以食咗嘅。
算都唔好以為係，咁都係你。
打係嘛？
嗯。
即係你個麥喺邊度？
喺嗰度。
咁手揸咪？
係手揸咪。
哦。咁係你先嘅，所以我唔使 share 住，我而家要試 share。
你可以試。
唔好嗌 iPhone 做 co-host，要你報名。
嗯。喂，你好，係咪 Eric 啊？啊，你好，我係WTIA 嘅同事，我想問你係咪報名咗 ASA 嘅 workshop？哦，係今日㗎，一陣間就開始㗎啦，係啊。
OK，不過。
good。
係啊。
咁就 OK。咁我而家先。
我哋3點鐘開始。
可唔可以插多次先？
我哋喺觀塘嘅
Hdcourse 首先有電話好細。
哦，好啊，唔緊要啊，我哋有 Zoom 㗎，如果你想聽嘅話，可以用我哋嘅 Zoom link。嗯，好好。我哋喺嗰個 email 度應該係會有嘅。好啊。拜拜，唔該晒，拜拜。
佢今次
唔記得咗。
係啊。
GG。
係咁上下嘅，唔係咁啱。
你由上面打嚟。
好啊。
同埋因為咧，嗰個天文台啦話，佢話本身話係今日會咩嘛？
喂，你好，請問係咪 Andrew 啊？
係，就係咁，跟住我唔知啲人會唔會。
啊，你好，我係 WTIA 嘅 Iris 啊，想問你係咪報咗 ASA 嘅 workshop？係啊，Asian Smart Innovation Award 嘅 workshop。
跟住但係啲中學生唔得。
係啊，我哋3點開始啊，唔知你今日嚟唔嚟到咧？
係啊。
大社都要上到嚟，細個時都要上到嚟。
跟住好似啱
咁我哋有個 Zoom link 嘅，就喺個 email 度。咁如果你想睇嘅話，就可以喺個 Zoom 度
有
join。
Zoom 嘅咁樣。
唔該晒你，拜拜。
我冇所謂，我冇睇安全。冇做啲。我Zoom，我Zoom，我真係因為呢個就係cybersecurity嘅Zoom，唔係我Zoom。佢哋用嘢啱。我哋又嚟聽下咯。有阿 Kit 講嘢，有 iPhone，唔是寫咗 iPhone 點點我都唔知咩 iPhone 衰，HD 有冇得睇到？冇啊，邊度講啊？有冇人？
我打咗2個，佢哋都話唔記得咗。
係你嘅？係啊，你係 speaker 嚟㗎？係啊。Sorry 啊。
咦？
咁啊，原來。記得咗3位的Antony 都好。3字或者係佢哋話 get 咗唔係話 iPhone 收呢個唔嚟嘅，佢應該有啲嘢唔嚟唔到。係講咩 ？iPhone 講咩啊？咁啊？
GenAI
咁佢講 SEO 點樣利用 SEO 可以令你 上 Google search 個 bar，search 個 bar 呢啲咁呢啲好少講嘅。你都令到一個 startup 可以盡快地，即係人哋一 search 你相關嘅就打你公司上去嗰啲嘢咯。係啊係啊，咦都有趣喎！係啊，其實幾好聽嘅呢啲嘢。3點啊，3點啊，呢邊有啲時代聲啊。咩迪士尼有興趣嘅？有書啊？有啊，書拎我得唔得啊？可以啊，書拎我咯，支持下。有咩得閒呢度坐下，呢度睇呢度坐。係啊，咁熟嘅呢個行為。我哋一組18個。18個即係得啦，你都識計啦，識計啦，16個。所以我問乜你平時可以我問我由下面打上去先。咩嗰啲就係 cap 個公司，我問下同事有冇興趣 join，我問幾個 sales 同事，我叫佢幫你睇咯。唔係頭先全都睇唔到，係嘛？都。哦，咁樣啊，係興趣嚟㗎。
Thank you everyone for joining the workshop today. Our workshop will begin in 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Asia Smart Innovation Workshop. I'm Iris from WTIA. On behalf of WTIA, I would like to express our sincere appreciation for your participation today. We are especially grateful for the ongoing support of CCCIA Hong Kong. Today's agenda features 2 expert presentations, followed by an interactive panel discussion. Let me introduce our distinguished speakers, Mr. Antony Ma, CEO and founder of Hoplite Technology Limited, and Mr. Ivan So, digital consultant of Hdcourse Limited. Our panel discussion will be moderated by Mr. Keith Lee, chairman of the Hong Kong Wireless Technology Industry Association. Before we begin, I invite everyone, both in-person and online participants, to engage with our opening poll. Please scan the QR code displayed on the slide to share your thoughts. Have you ever considered starting your own startup or business?
哇！啲人多謝你，多謝你，多謝你，係，多謝多謝多謝，係，多謝多謝。因為呢個係有其他地區嘅朋友參與，所以就要宣。
我知有熱門啊。
多謝你。我哋 ICT 幾時做？ICT 做緊㗎咯，11月啦就。哦。
點解 iPad 冇開有咩玩？你記唔記得我話人哋加入？你有咩玩？咦？你講呢啲嘅，死啦！我咁多人同阿成傾偈，跟住話我唔知你係邊個，我唔記得。
Thank you for sharing your insights. Regardless of where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, we hope today's workshop will provide valuable inspiration and guidance. Now, let's capture this moment with a group photo. Antony, Ivan, and Keith, please join me at the front. Three, two, one. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you for your cooperation. Please take your seats as we begin today's program. officially kick off our workshop, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our first speaker, Antony Ma.
Thank you, Iris, for the introduction. I think I will use this camera and the whiteboard to begin my presentation. I guess everyone can, I mean, in the room, there shouldn't be any issues. So I will encourage everyone, I mean, this time, came to physically at a venue, and then you can join together for more discussions. So today I'm going to share more about cybersecurity, because I think when I start out, also the cybersecurity is a real challenge, since you don't have all the resources that an enterprise have. I was in banking and in government. We have teams or experts or a certain size of budget for cybersecurity projects. But initially, for most startups, security and is kind of after the MVP. Okay, so when you build your MVP, security is usually not a first priority. You want the function, you want the users first before you get to the. You need to adjust the camera. Oh, okay, yeah. Good. Okay, so for the users online, this will be better. So my name is Anthony. I think I will save everyone's time. If you want to know more about me and my writings or the LinkedIn, you just go to Google and search my name, and you will find information that you want to read about me. So I will skip the self-introduction part. So recently, I think in the AI field, there are quite some new. A few new news one is about Perplexity. They launched a new browser called Comet. This one, this one is a new way of AI application lifestyles. They not only stay in the chat box, okay, they do. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there's not only one.
So we have, a new browser Connect from Perplexity. If you go to their website and download it, the issue with, for cybersecurity, there are a lot of new features in this new browser. I'm not going to. Obviously, it's AI enabled and powered. But for any new browsers, I think there are a few issues that we need to be remarked of. One is the certificate authority, which in every browser, it controls which certificate when you type HTTPS. The S, meaning the security, is decided by the CA. Okay, so it's, usually in the past, Hong Kong Post was one of the good certificates. What we call the CA inside the browser, and this is how when Hong Kong Post, okay, publish a certificate. The certificate is okay. Thank you. So whenever we install a new browser, okay, we need to look at how they manage the certificate authority when they ship the browser with either software. Okay. So this is a very contentious issue because There were incidents that we know Microsoft has a root certificate being compromised. Okay, so the root certificate property was leaked in a social engineering event, which invalidated all the certificates issued by the CA. What are the risks? What are the trouble created by would say is that anyone can issue a certificate, or a hacker, the malicious hacker can issue a SSL search and pretend to be someone. Okay, so this is how in our current internet ecosystems, the whole infrastructure is based on the security authority is able to control. Okay, which party you trust. Okay. And I think I will remind all of you, if you are looking at the new browsers launched by all the startup capacity or OpenAI, they are planning to launch another browser soon. So all this is should take into considerations. So I believe these new browsers will not be popular in enterprise sector. So government, bank, insurance company, airline will not use these process because it will take years for them to validate and to track the security of all these new systems. It will likely to be a personal use for consumer end. Okay, and obviously Capacity is mainly a consumer focused company. Okay, now this is just give you a heads up on what's happening with current news. So we are going to talk about how the AI new applications and the new work, new architecture, how does it affect us? Currently, you can say that we have the LLM models. Okay, this is hosted by some of these vendors. It can be a OpenAI or Google Gemini. Okay, or you see. So our users are using their default interface, whether it is a web-based or an app. So this is the basic architecture. The chatbot is delivered directly from the large language model, and you interact, the end user interact directly with the AI model. In between, I mean, if you look at how each chip is doing their security or their sensor, when you type something, let's say you ask for where is Paris, okay? So this message is sent directly to LM and it process. So most of the time when you send this message, the large language model already process and give you the outputs. Okay, so the CPU is being consumed, the token is being generated, and when it comes out, there is a gatekeeper. In terms of this chip, okay, if you follow it closely, they will stop and block contents that are not following their policies. Okay, so this is how, in a simple way, the large language model is controlling the message and safeguarding the user. We have seen many cases where there are some prompt engineers doing prompt injections. Try at this moment, okay, trigger the LLM to do things that are different from what is intended to. So try to break the gut view and try to create their own influence of LLM. So on this part, this is the single user. Okay, so this is the, you can say it is a hacker or someone who has a malicious intent to use this large language model. So this is only, I mean, the impact or the risk is only affected by web user, the single user. currently all the prompt ingestions, if using these models, does not affect the next user or the other users in this environment. Okay, because everyone has a dedicated session, they are separate. Okay, so we haven't seen ways that you can pollute or you can influence the large language model to certain way that it will generate malicious answer consistently. Okay, it's only within these sessions they were able to do prompt injections. Okay, and the impact is limited to one user. Okay, so when you are reading news, reading about things that are unintended consequences, unintended outcomes of large language models, you have to know that the attacker is the one who trigger the unexpected results or the errors. So if you're only affecting this user, okay, we haven't seen a way of using the current prompt engineering to directly influence the LLM in the longer term than in one session. So in terms of risk, I mean, this is for me, I mean, where I would say this is a lower risk item because each large language model, they are session separated. They are not, you cannot see others or influence others' outputs. However, if you are startup, likely, or very likely, you will not use this model. In a startup situations or in a modern AI-driven app situations, say you may have multiple models. Some are even local models of LLMs or local LLMs. And there is an application middle layer that you, where the startup or your company design the logic. Okay? And it may include some proprietary data belong to either your database system, some documents, or some history of. So these are likely proprietary data, okay, or your own DB. So this is what I mean, the user interacts directly with the users. Interacts directly with this business logic, and it connects the LLMs with your data and generated some results. In this part, it's more complicated because, first of all, the whole part in our LLM is just a traditional web application or a traditional client server application where you have to do all the security controls, I mean, like encryption of transport layer encryptions, authentication, and also the business logic, SQL ingestion, everything must be done regardless whether it is a traditional, whether it's an AI app or not. Okay, so this is you do the new AI model to build the applications. At the end, it's the web application. Okay, you are just adding more external API call. Okay, but just this part that is different. The next part is where the call session part is different. Okay, so how you manage the logic and the context memory of your applications, it is going to impact the next user. Okay, there are instances we have seen for this type of self-developed or new type of injection. They were sharing context between different users. So one user may tell the AI they want to travel to Macau, the hotel for 2 persons, and the next one come. The context, if it's not managed well, it will share the history or the past answers to the new user. But it all depends on how you control and configure your systems so that you are able to segregate each session and not enabling the context to be shared by different users in the application. And the next part is some of these local one LM. This is going to be causing a lot of issues if you are having a local publicly managed large language models, because then you take the ownership of doing the guardrail. Okay, so the guardrail, you need to control it so that it will be following what exactly in the content or following the policy rules. Let's say not producing pornography or obscene content. Okay, so if you're doing local models, then there are additional rules and additional safeguards that you need to take care of. I think this will give a quick summary of what current state architecture of an AI application look like. I think I will leave it from here and give it Ivan to share about his view on other pressing issues in the startup environment, and then we will have some Q&A later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, for that comprehensive and enlightening presentation on cybersecurity. I'm confident everyone now has a deeper appreciation for the critical importance of cybersecurity in today's digital landscape. Now let's welcome our second speaker, Ivan So, to the stage.
Right. Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me? It's okay. If you could you type yes in the chat, so I may know you. Okay, great, excellent. So let me just put on my slide, and you actually got a camera here, but right, but you got my slide, so it should be okay. Sorry. So today I'm going to share a few things about SEO, about GEO, and one of my experience, which I used to test about different projects for SEO traffics, and this one is particular good that I could achieve like over 10,000 SEO traffic in a month for Hong Kong market. So here's some of my background. I've been doing like digital marketing, particularly in SEO, for over 20 years. And recently I did a lot more for Generative AI training other than like SEO. And some of my other background will be testing different platform in order to see any loophole for that particular platform so I could rank for. So at first, I suppose many of us already knew SEO. So I will just give a really brief idea of what that is. So in SEO, normally we say there's a few important things about SEO, which include on-page SEO, off-page SEO, as well as the technical SEO. And of course, at the top, you should have a strategy in mind that in order to manage all the project across different sites for the SEO. For the on-page SEO, basically you need to manage like all the content, do the keyword research, optimize the content, as well as the image optimization for internal link as well. So that's more like for the on-page SEO. For the off-page SEO, normally we claim that's a backlink. We try to put more different linkage into different authority website to link back to your own site in order to build up your authority. So the more quality link back to your site means that Google think you're more trustworthy because a lot of the good sites actually link to you. So there's more like for the off-page SEO. And besides for the website linkage, we could do also social media as well. And for the last part for the SEO, which is the technical SEO. So in that case, if you're a tech guy, normally you need to optimize your site. You need to make sure your server run really fast. And then people go to your site, no matter it's a desktop website or a mobile site, it could load within like a few seconds. So that's what we call about technical SEO, as well as is that enough information, as well as letting Google to index your site easily. For example, whether you have like XML sitemap or robot.txt, which Google really like. So that's really sorry. That's really a quick idea of what SEO is. But recently, there's another term called GEO, or you can call that AEO or LLMO. So that's basically referred to generative engine optimization, meaning how to show up your website or your website content into the AI system, no matter that is ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, or even in Google. So let me show you an idea. I think in general, for AI tools to show your result is good, but I mean, they're not as popular as people who search in Google, right? Google still dominate over 90% in the search engine market, which recently users still keep the behavior to using the search engine. But recently they introduced AIO, which we call it AI overview. It's kind of like Google search a website for you, then an entire list of the organic search, and then it uses AI to summarize the result and then show you more like a feature snippet. So in that case, with more information user can see in the Google search without even clicking a link to the particular website, you might be losing a lot of traffic for the SEO. So a lot of the SEO experts, they foresee our website should have the SEO traffic, which will be decreasing because people are happy with the content in the search engine already. But at the moment, AIO are showing less than 10% when users enter different keywords in Google. But let me show you a really quick example. Particularly in Hong Kong, but maybe in your country as well. If we type a particular keywords here, now you can see something called AIO, AI overview, which for Hong Kong, it only happened since a month ago. But in US and UK, it happened 3 months ago. So it's slightly different. But basically what it does is normally user, they will go to a website, go to Google, and then they will search like lots of different links. And then they need to click for more information by different URL. But for the AI overview, besides a quick summary of what they can see, they can actually click on click more, and then they can see a lot more information. It's not just like feature snippet. It shows a lot more information, as well as it will tell you where exactly they get those information from. So now the important thing is, in order to show up into the link over here in the AIO or your brand to show up as part of the content in the AIO, you need to optimize for the AI, which I will show you in a minute. So I did a test before. Let me just click on link and translate that. So basically what you can see right now is Perplexity, one of the AI model. So some of the users, they might go to different AI and they say, if you're looking for some expert in Hong Kong who does SEO, so you might type, I want to know some recommended Hong Kong SEO expert, right? And then Perplexity will go to a different website. And the good thing is, at the 4th position, this is actually my website. So they are able to get my information. But the problem is, let me show you. If I ask who's the recommended Hong Kong SEO expert, you can see based on the content, you can't see my name or you can't see my company at all. So And I wonder, how could I actually show up there? So the good thing you could do is, so basically you could do your own test. Firstly, you go to whatever AI platform you're using and then ask some of the thing like based on your industry, say, oh, if I want to fund an accounting company, can you show me some recommendation? And then you can see whether it show up your company information. If it doesn't show it, which is same case as I do, it's quite basic. You can ask them. You can just simply ask, why not show my company and why not show my name? And because our LLM can browse through different websites, and it actually explains I do have enough SEO knowledge, but because my website doesn't mention a lot of those, so they thought if I'm not offering a service, I'm not expert because I'm doing a lot of educational course. And then they would tell me, I didn't show my experience. I didn't show how many clients I serve. So the AI tell me exactly what I did in order to optimize for the AI model. So, which I did, and let me show you the result. Let me translate that. So the same question I asked for the AI, and because I optimized my website, and now, boom, suddenly, after only a few minutes after I updated the website, it showed my name there. So, which means it's quite easy. You could do it yourself. You can go to whatever AI tools you're using and then ask the same question. Why your brand, why yourself isn't showing for the particular keywords? And let me show you what exactly did I change in my website in order to optimize for the LLM. So basically, because it's quite a lengthy content, so it might take a little bit time in order to translate the whole content. Let me just try to refresh and okay, that should be translating. Is it? It's not translating somehow. Just give me a second. I can always go to Google Translate to put my site there. Right. So what I did is it should be the other way around. Transition the Chinese to English. Just give me a second. Right, that's done. So why doesn't the LLM show my name or my company name as a recommend company? The reason is that a lot of people, they don't mind calling themselves an expert, but I feel that it's a little bit weird to just tell people you're expert. I don't normally do that, but because I'm humble, all right? So, but because I don't do that, LLM like Perplexity or ChatGPT, they don't know you actually do it. So you can't be humble if you're dealing with LLM. So what I did is I include an additional paragraph over here, and with a bracket to say I'm an expert in SEO, particularly for Hong Kong market, with the number of experience and how many companies I serve across different countries, which is all true, but I didn't put it there at first. And then in order to optimize for the LLM, I have to do that. Besides, I put this paragraph at the top of the content, which is important to put this paragraph at the top of the content because some of the AI model, they don't have really a long token or context window. If your content is really long and you put that at the end of the content, they may not be able to read through. So you have to put it at the top of the content. And then at the bottom of the slide, I also include two large paragraphs, which normal human, they don't actually read that, which is a good idea because I only want the LLM to read it. So I put the gigantic paragraph to say how good I am, and I'm an expert whatsoever. And then after I did for 5 minutes, and then the AI start to show I'm actually one of the experts. So that's how you could do it as well, in order to optimize for the LLM, which is GEO or AI or whatever you call it. But at the moment, it is still not a lot of traffic from this different AI tools. But from the Google AI overview, that will be a lot of traffic, which worth your time to do the optimization. And then the other thing I have questioned is, because there's a lot of different AI tools and Google, etc. So I did a coding. I made this very basic platform. I used a vibe coding. I didn't actually code it. I asked the AI to do it. And basically what I do is I type a keyword called digital marketing, targeted Hong Kong, and then with the language, it's in English. It will browse through AI overview, it go to ChatGPT, it go to Perplexity to search all the citation, all the link. And if some of the websites, they actually repeat it or has been coded by different platform, which means they're more trustworthy. But at the moment, this is all like only one time. But if one of the websites that's been coded by different AI model, which might worth your time to take a look of what they actually wrote in that page, in order to, you can take reference to write a similar thing, all right? So this is just one of the tools. You could use SEMrush, you can use Ahrefs. They offer a similar thing, but of course they charge much more because they does a lot of different things. So SEO is no longer what we're known for, which is search engine optimization. It now become what we call a search everywhere optimization. It's not just in Google, it's in different AI platforms as well. And there's another news which only happened yesterday. In Instagram, they changed their infrastructure, they changed the relationship with Google search engine. Now, with all the Instagram posts, no matter it's few years back or recent posts, it can be now searchable in Google. If you don't want to be searched for all of your posts from IG, you can actually opt out. But you might wonder, in the past, my IG can still be searched in Google. Yes and no. Yes, they do allow Google to search it, but for really limited appearance. For example, mainly for the page, but not for every single post. But since yesterday, IG changed the rules, all of your posts in IG will be indexable in Google. And the good news is, which means if you want to rank in Google, now you could leverage IG because Google trusts IG of the authority, and you can do a lot more content and stuff in IG in order to be found in Google, right? So that, and the final part is showing you one of the case I did, which can drive like over 10,000 traffic in a month. But before I show you exactly what I did and what that website is, I want to give you an idea. Is the reason I did a test like this is because current market is getting really, really noisy. A lot of people using GenAI to create a lot of content, no matter it's text, image, or video. So in order to compensate our quality of content, not exactly quality, the quantity of the content, I did a test, which I generate thousands of content for a new site to see whether it can rank in Google, which I will show you in a minute. But before I show you the exact cases, I want to give you one of the concepts first. If you just use a normal AI without any strategy and want to rank in Google with thousands of content, it doesn't work. That is called spam because of the low quality content. But in Google, they actually patent one of the keywords called information gap. So what exactly is information gap? So basically, if I search for digital marketing, there's like thousands of hundreds of same content everywhere. Google doesn't want to show the same or similar content to the same audience, right? So what Google is looking for is they're looking for some of the content which is quite different to other piece of content, which give the user extra benefit, which gain them more information. That's how they call that information gain, right? If you understand the concept, I will show you an example. So in order to produce a lot of content, definitely I'm going to use AI, but what's wrong with AI? So basically, if I want to create more content, create content which is with the information gain, which means I need to make my topic with a wider range and more in-depth, which means I need to create more subtopic. In SEO term, we call that a related entity. In order to do that, I need to use AI. But what AI is, AI trained with existing content in the web, So they're not going to create you with the new concept. It's all the existing content. It's no new content, at least not at the moment. So you're using LLM to create a lot of content with the same piece of the meaning or quality of the content. So of course you don't rank. So I'm not going to use this method anymore. So I think I'm going to give you one example to explain what exactly is information gain. So basically there's two websites. The first one is called Lyrics Road, and the other one is called Genesis. So both of the website, they put a lot of the lyrics in their own site. So for a song, if you're looking for lyrics, you can go to those websites. You can go to Google to search it. But when you search it, because for the exact song, it's the exact lyrics. For the user, no matter what website they go to, it's the same lyrics. So that is not much information gain for the user. But smartly, for the Genesis, they don't just put the simple lyrics in the website. They actually use the GenAI to try to understand the song, the lyrics, and then write a really quick summary of what the song is about. So all of the hundreds of thousands of lyrics website, they do not have this annotation to give you a summary of the background of the music. And this particular lyrics give extra information to the user, which means is information gain. Because of the information gain, Google reward it because user actually feel more happy with the site. And the traffic tells. Lyrics Road, they have a lot of traffic in the past, but after Google introduced for more algorithm focusing on targeting like the spam content, you can see Lyrics Road is no different to what other lyrics websites, so the traffic drop. But for the Genesis, with the extra information they put in the site, user actually gain more value, and then the traffic actually rise, and that's rewarding for site like that. So what I'm going to show you now is I did two different websites. So the first one, let me just close this stuff. The first one is called ManyPage. Same as the name, it means I have a lot of the page in the site in order to test a lot of keyword, and then I put a lot of content over here. I put like 38,000 pieces of content using AI to generate. I use a GPT-4o mini to generate it, and it took about 5 days for the 35,000 pieces of content. And you can see over here, and the first day of the site born, until like the 5th day of the site, I actually get a lot of traffic from SEO already. I got like 200 clicks for the free traffic SEO. But on the 6th day, Google actually knew the site isn't good because it's a rubbish content, it's a mediocre content, and there's a lot of them. So Google killed it. I'm not sure is it by manual or by AI, but you can see it's more like a human who died, which is now certified. And suddenly got a post here. I have no idea why. And then I did the same thing, not exactly the same, but a different niche. And this time I did that with another domain, talk about salary index, salary information in Hong Kong, which in Hong Kong, there isn't any site about it. Or if it does, it is kind of like everywhere with bits and pieces, which is not concrete and is not easy to find. So I use a prompt to summarize all the information into a single site, about 3,800 piece of content. I wrote it here. Not I wrote it, actually the AI wrote it. But this time I didn't use ChatGPT, I didn't use GPT-4o mini because it doesn't search the web. So the content wasn't credibility at all. So this time I used Perplexity, which they would go online to search about the content before they wrote the content. So let me show you the traffic of the site at the moment. So in the past 3 months, I got like 45,000 SEO traffic, which is free, to the site, which is purely generated content by the AI, which I did 6 months ago. I didn't update a piece of content at all since then, and it still rank. And the main difference is it searches well. So it gives more information, it combines different information together. to show more stuff to the user. So it match the information gain. The user cannot see such a conclude or consolidate information about all the salary index. And I'm showing you the backend at the moment to just give you a brief idea. I use AI to write a WordPress plugin, and then I use a Perplexity model, and then just give a simple prompt to say you're a copywriter, and then write an SEO-friendly structure with introduction, with several headline, and then conclusion and FAQ, and ensure the content is accurate. Of course, even you say it, it might be wrong because of the hallucination, but it gets a little bit better, which is good for me already. And then use the H1 for title, and then use the figure and number. I think that is actually quite crucial because Google like number, because if you have number, which means it's more like a fact. And I tell AI that if you go online to search for the salary index, and if you get the number, ensure you write something to support the statement. Why is that number, etc. And then use bullet point, use number point or table if necessary, and make sure it's a good grammar or how many words you put it there. It is a simple prompt template. I put it there, and then I put 1,000 keywords here, and then I click generate. I can show you real quick what it does. So let me just put the keywords here and then click generate. And then it will start going online to search about what exactly is SEO, and then use it as a reference, and then use a Perplexity, not the best AI to do the writing, but good enough for Google because the content are trustworthy. And then it will try to consolidate information and then write about SEO. So it take about maybe 30 seconds, a minute to write one, but I did maybe 10 or 20 pages in parallel when I did that 6 months ago, and that's done, but that's in Chinese. So that's how quick that is. It did the research, and then it can generate the content in order to get the traffic I got. So that's about my sharing. So I give back the time to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan, for that inspiring presentation. Insights into how GenAI can revolutionize SEO strategies and drive significant traffic growth. Now we move to our interactive panel discussion. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Keith Lee, Chairman of the Hong Kong Wireless Technology Industry Association. Following the panel,
and also Antony. So we have to, of course, thank you, Antony and Ivan, for their presentations. So on behalf of WTIA, so we are very grateful to have the honor to have these two guests. So today I'm going to be the moderator for our interactive panel session. And I've got some questions here, and we also welcome questions on the floor and also from online. So let's start our session. And so my first question will be to Antony. So Antony, you are an expert in cybersecurity. And in the recent days, cybersecurity has been, all these cybersecurity threats has been updated or upgraded by generative AI. So, what practical advice would you give to for the especially for startups to implement effective cybersecurity measures with all these new developments?
Right. I think the deepfake, where the videos, voice, and a lot of human interaction is now at the risk of, impersonating your suppliers. The investor may be a fake one, and even when you are doing an interview, the interviewee may be just anyone who will try to steal information from your company. So I think establish a more robust or multi-step validation of the persons should be established from the start. If your business is very sensitive, let's say you have a lot of R&D, copyright, and those things that you should have ways to validate the persons. It is better to make it formal in a policy document, so that when you share and practice those steps, it becomes less awkward. This is rather awkward. Sometimes when you ask someone to prove themselves on you, so if you have a policy and you beforehand tell them there will be steps to validate, and it may help you to smoothly and navigate these risks.
Yeah, so it's more like new ways of social engineering, and you have to fix it with policy and guidelines. Okay. So next question. Let's come to Ivan. So, but just being curious. So Ivan, I find your accent a little bit like the Northern England or Scottish accent. Where did they get the accent from?
The Scottish really have to listen. But I was studying in the south of UK, so
Actually,
should be the south.
South.
Supposedly, I don't know.
Oh,
But I do have pictures from Scotland.
Okay. It sounds like Sean Connery,
which is quite hard to hear, right?
Okay, so the question to you is, by the way, great presentation. So I've learned a lot too. I'm going to fix my webpage.
Right. Excellent.
So how can startup use GenAI to create SEO optimized hybrid content with that resonate with the audience? I think that talk a lot in your presentation, but what advice will you give to startups especially?
Well, basically when I do it, you have to pick the right AI. There's a lot of different AI in the world, but the one you should be focusing on is make sure they do web search. So as long as they do web search, you can find a lot of URL citation, which means it's more latent, so at least they could be more trustworthy, because the website you use, Crowd, which they launched for yesterday, they can search really deeply for a lot of different websites before they do the conclusion for you, which takes you a lot of time. And then once you pick the right AI model, which is you still need to do testing of course, you can try to use API, which is a little bit technical, but you could use AI to do programming, but you have to scale the content. You can produce a lot of content. With the AI, we can search online really deeply to ensure the content is okay. But of course, with a little bit of the prompt engineering to advise the AI to include your brain into it, or they could be more informational style, which might be different to the original content, which might be useful because Google doesn't like to create content. And in that case, I forgot to mention one thing. For the previous project, I did like 1,100 piece of content, which cost me only like $30 to do it. So the AI cost is getting much cheaper. So if your AI, unless you're funded AI, you got lots of money, you can hire someone or some agent to do it. If it's only you or few of you to do it, you can rely on the API with the right AI model to create multiple websites, not just one, with a lot of content to test whether it actually ranks for your particular niche. So that's what I would suggest. Yeah.
So the plugin that you show, you wrote yourself.
Yeah, I take about 2 hours. I was using Cursor to do it, but the new version I was using Rapid, which is one of the top AI coding software. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yeah, and there's one question for myself. How long do you take to get capacity to rank your site, to index your site?
Well, because it's a funny story. That domain, it belongs to me 10 years ago. Actually 20 years ago when I bought it, and then I sold it to another company. And then recently, like 6 months ago, I realized that company bankrupt, and then the domain released openly. So I registered 6 months ago. So the good thing is the domain is an old domain, it's an expired domain, which means with lots of history, with some backing as well, with how to Google to think this domain is not new, it should be trustworthy. So as long as the domain is good domain, the first day I put it there, and then the second day I start to rank. But of course the traffic isn't that good. But it takes about 2 or 3 weeks, to show up like 10,000 traffic per month. But that is only because of the domain is an expired domain, it's trustworthy domain. But for new domain, I assume you will still get traffic, but a lot less in the first month. But after maybe 3 or 4 months, it should be in full swing to show the content to the user. And then you can start thinking whether you should optimize the content again or put in a lot more content in this site, because Google didn't dislike it, didn't hate it, because it started to show traffic. But if you put a content there, and then after maybe a couple of weeks, and then Google kill it, don't bother to recover the site, do a new one, because it doesn't recover. So that's what I would suggest. Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time and effort and try and error.
Yeah, try and error, definitely, yeah.
Okay. So back to Anthony. You actually have 2 choices. So do you want to answer the second one or the third one?
Second one.
Second one, okay. So with the rise of GenAI, do you foresee the new cybersecurity threats emerging, and based on the decades of experience, what is one critical mistake that startup may often make in addressing these risks, and how do they avoid it?
Well, it's a long question. I think there's no critical mistake in terms of doing any startups. So this startup is very fragile. If you're a new company, you can manage personnel, payroll, data. I can share one story regarding my experience. One is on the trademark side. So we had this GenAI new terms that emerged. So ChatGPT, GenAI, LLM are all new terms, and we will have a lot of new domains, obviously. Okay, so because before 2002 to 3, nobody registered a domain with LLM. No one knows. I mean, at least not the mass majority. Only the research engineer know LLM, so that's worthless. After it, I think domains with LLM, the domain with GPT, or all these domains are more valuable. So we actually registered and trademark email GPT, okay, which is a trademark that we own. We registered for it. We are planning on doing and developing that. The experience with email GPT, which is we own the trademark. We have another US enterprise blocking or causing in the application process, causing delays in our progress. So we have to plan and do a lot of, I would say, legal analysis and spend time on the dispute resolution process of these trademark resolutions. So honestly, I mean, I was studying. I mean, I graduated from Master of Law in NYU, so I'm able to do it myself. But I think lots of startups, you will face if you have a new brand and new trademark to register. This is an area that you need to plan ahead and looking for expert help. Okay, because this kind of mistakes, once it is made, it's very difficult and very costly to.
Yeah, but do you think startups can use GenAI to do some of the legal work so they can do the resolution themselves?
I think definitely they can. At least when they're reading the legal letters, the first round of reading. Okay, lawyers or most of this legal jargon, they try to buff. I mean, meaning they will exaggerate the risk that you are in. Okay, so the terms are convoluted and somehow make you think that you're in deep trouble. Okay, so you can ask GenAI in a simple way to look at the text and to just cut through the jargons and then give you what it is. So, but I am okay. My experience, I obviously when I respond to those trademark dispute letters, I use GenAI, okay, to draft more formal English. But I am able to do it because I study copyright law, so I understand which part is the principles behind when this dispute is being made. But if you are not, a legal train or having some copyright course, it wouldn't be, advisable to do it yourself because sometimes these mistakes may cost you more than just hire a legal IP consultant
So it's not how to save money by using GenAI to do it.
No, for legal work, I don't advise to do that.
Okay, so to be fair, I also have choices for you. So yeah, 2 questions left. Which one do you pick?
Second one. Yeah.
Second one, okay. All right, so startup aims to scale quickly. How can GenAI help startups to scale their SEO effort without requiring a large team or extensive resources?
Yeah, so it's more basically like what I did, what I showed you. But the reason I picked this question is I want to say one more thing, which I think is quite critical as well. Which is when you use the AI to generate content, which is fine, but when you use the AI to do the keyword optimization, that will be a big mistake. Because because in GenAI or AI tools, they're not search engine. So basically they only have access to the Google database, see what is the popular keywords, etc. But if you ask GenAI to give you a keyword research or a particular topic, it will still give you a list of it, which seems right, but when you do the same exact thing in Google search, it will show completely different Google suggests or Google related keywords. So for scale content point of view, yes, definitely you can use GenAI for that. But for particular sales page or particular page you want to rank for keywords, which means you need to focus on keyword optimization, etc., which you do not ask AI to do keyword optimization for you because they do not have the database. So you do it in Google, and then you copy all the keyword Google suggested, and then go back to the AI and ask them for optimized content with the following keywords which Google suggests. That is fine. And other than that, it doesn't mean the suggested keyword by GenAI tools by users is still useful, but first you ask Google for that. And then after you optimize for the Google, and then you can ask GenAI. Because normally it would give a completely different set of the keywords to Google. That means you're giving a wider range of subtopics for that particular sales page. And you can try that approach in order to increase the information gain that particular page, but that won't be a mass scale. It's only for a few optimization for a particular page or particular few pages of your site. So that will be helpful. Yeah.
So just asking AI tool that can search online for SEO keywords that doesn't work anymore.
Well, you can still do it, but it search online. But where does it search? For example, if you using Grok, using ChatGPT, they're not Google. They have a complete set of keywords. Even you using Gemini. Gemini is an AI. It doesn't actually access the database of the keyword pool. So I will do that with it. Yeah.
So thank you very much for answering, and we don't have a lot of time left, but I think we can still have some time for the floor and the online questions. Okay, so we do have some questions. So pick the ones you like. pick the one that you want to answer.
Most for SEO, you go ahead first.
Right.
Second one, third one, SEO.
Right. So okay, yeah, sure. Right. Okay. Well, Perplexity or ChatGPT or Grok, they're completely different website. You can assume it is like the second Google, third Google, but of course it's much less traffic. So what I'll focus, of course, I'll focus on Google. But normally, once you do well in Google, you do well in Perplexity or other sites as well, because when Google trusts you, which means you have a good domain authority or the content is trustworthy. Other AI models, they perform similar, if not the same, but they look similar. So one side actually rank Google, they rank in Perplexity, but maybe a slightly different position, but it's still top 10. So as you rank in Google, that's fine. Won't bother too much for a particular AI model. So that's what I suggest. Then we quickly answer the third one. If someone is starting with GenAI for SEO, what's the first start you recommend? Well, what I recommend is without data of what you have, is more like driving in blind. So what I would suggest is you go to your Google Search Console, which show all the data of your website, and then look at what page are already ranking, what doesn't. If it doesn't rank, go to that page and then do a few keywords for that page and ask AI to, based on existing content, and then optimize with more keywords. And you don't do that only once. Try to do it maybe optimize page 2 or 3 pages once a week for 3 months, and then you can see the traffic start progressively growing. It always works for all my clients, so it should work for you as well.
Right. I think, well, the fourth one about French railway company, I have no idea how to do that. Even
so let's do the first one.
GenAI. I think the first one, advice on how the founders use their competitive advantage. So when you say founders, I believe you are someone who has.
You are founding a new startup, aren't you?
Well, we are. I mean, we always are looking at the opportunities. So I think the GenAI part help us with more. I think we are a software team, so a lot of the code is now being written or reviewed. I think the code review part with GenAI is going to help us to improve the quality of the software quite a lot. So if you are building a software-driven style, or the product is a software related, I think that part is going to accelerate your development team, or simply ask the AI to do a security review of your code. It will help most of the developers to improve their security coding. The security coding is not something that most developers are trained. In university, security coding is not a compulsory. So a lot of people learn about coding, developer, Java, Python, C, but security coding is not a mandatory course. So a lot of our developers, AI can do the first screening and identify major issues, and that part will help a lot. I mean, I believe this is the most direct and relevant usage.
I also want to give my 2 cents on this question. I think I will answer this question in a different way. If you are not using GenAI to start your startup, then you put yourself in a disadvantaged scenario, because every startup in the world, I think they are starting the company with GenAI to help them to increase efficiency and reduce cost. So how to gain a competitive advantage where everybody is already using GenAI is to use GenAI well. So you have to start, learning, using it, and master how to use GenAI. Just like how Ivan demonstrated. If you don't have a tool for yourself, you ask GenAI to write a tool for yourself, so that you can achieve your goal more quickly than your competitors. I think you can't avoid your competitors using GenAI because everybody's using GenAI. So you will be having spending a lot of time on GenAI. So time's up already. Okay. So do we have any question on the floor or our physical audience? If not, then we can talk after we officially end this session.
As we conclude today's workshop, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Antony, Ivan, and Keith for sharing their valuable time and expertise with us. Thank you also to our engaged audience for your active participation and thoughtful questions. Before you leave, we kindly request your feedback through our post-event questionnaire. Your insights help us improve future workshops, so please take a few moments to complete the survey. And finally, I'm excited to announce our upcoming workshop, Designing the Perfect AR and VR Experience, how to put users first. This section will explore creating immersive, user-centered AR and VR experiences, perfect for anyone interested in cutting-edge technology applications. We look forward to seeing you at future WTIA events. Thank you again for joining us today, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Oh, I don't need because I hate to see. Hi.